I think that Canada offers a very interesting context to study the women, peace, and security agenda and the other themes underneath its umbrella, because unlike many other contexts where I've studied, worked, lived, the US, for example, I think that the Canadian government does have more of a history of being very much more engaged with the WPS agenda, obviously. Also, I think that the lines of communication are a lot more open between civil society, academia, and government actors. And I think that that makes it, for me, something very exciting, as I'm very interested in kind of, transcending some of those siloing that can happen. I think in other contexts, we oftentimes see academics getting a little bit siloed off, whereas I think the context in Canada offers a unique opportunity for more critical engagement and more questions being asked, and the government and civil society actors being a part of that and listening.
So yeah, Canada has a unique role as a global leader on women, peace, and security, and this includes also foreign feminist policy, because Canada has a good example and to be applied in other countries, and also Canada as a donor country for Global South plays a good role to increase women participation in peace talks and negotiation, and also in humanitarian aid and also international development. So this is why studying in Canada helps researchers to be close to where's decision making capital, and also where's academic institutions based, and also to be within the research network on women, peace, and security, and this is, I think, what's all researcher on the discipline of women, peace, and security they're looking for to build also a career in this area, and also to conduct research on this specific area, because it's still a new in terms of academia and also in terms of civil society. So this is why Canada has this unique role in for women, peace, and security.
I think it's really important because with my other volunteer work, I work with the Women, Peace and Security Network Canada, which I know is a member of the research network. And we are in the process with other civil society actors of developing consultative dialogues. So dialogues on the next Canadian National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security. And I think that this is a momentous occasion for more scholars and researchers and other civil society actors to really put their minds towards peace and security, especially from a feminist perspective and a women's rights perspective, because Canada has a lot of work to do. We've seen the inquiry into the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. We've seen what's been happening and what has happened with the Canadian Armed Forces and our security sector. We've seen all of the negative impacts and overt violence against women, of course, the increase in domestic violence that's happened during the pandemic. And so I think that the peace and security agenda, which typically 20 years ago and in the last 22 years has primarily been focused, at least for Canada, as an international and foreign affairs agenda, really needs to remind us that we need to look inwards. And who better to do this than those who are working on the ground and those who are studying it?
Canada has something that a lot of countries don't have. I would say even the United States and Europe is the diversity of researchers and then of policymakers and advocates. It's really what the kind of diverse backgrounds and identities of researchers that Canada has and policymakers on women, peace, and security has is unprecedentedly unique in the international stage. And I think that this is something that a lot of Canadians within Canada take for granted. The sheer amount of women that are doing this kind of research, that are offering this perspective, that are rare to see in patriarchal societies, it's very valuable. And I think that it's not engaged enough.
And we have a responsibility, I think, as academics and researchers to apply the lens in a Canadian and a domestic context. Because, as I said, there's a lot of work to do. And the National Action Plan that Canada will be developing and hopefully launching in the next few months for our third version should really learn and build off of these lessons that other countries have had and that we have even had. And we've seen some of that shift already happening in the way that the policy has been implemented. But I think that more research needs to be done, and it's our responsibilities as WPS researchers and academics to really own this space and support our civil society sisters and brothers and non-gender specific siblings to be able to make sure that Canada also has a strong peace and security lens in a women's sense here internally as well.